What is up, Las Vegas? How's everybody this morning? All right, my name is Kevin Ducey. I am with Comma Insurance. We provide loan officers the opportunity to own their own insurance agency, maximize the mortgage transaction, gives you residual income, a wealth-generating asset, and an opportunity to reconnect with your clients in a way that's a little bit limited right now. But nobody wants to hear me pitch this morning. So do me a favor. Look to your right, look to your left, give whoever you're sitting next to a high five. Like seriously, give them a high five. Here's why, guys. You're here. It's 2024, and you're sitting in these seats and you're investing in yourselves. It's been a hard 2 years. So congratulations to all of you being here. I love loan officers, absolutely love loan officers. You are the conduit to the American dream. Owning a home is the American dream. It is the most beneficial way to change generational wealth of anything that you can do. So why do I say this? Because you've invested in yourself to be here today. Be here. You've got phenomenal people that are come up and on stage and speak, and I know it is so easy to fall in the loop of bringing this stupid thing out and checking Facebook, checking Instagram, checking your emails, reaching out to your LOAs. You invested to be here. There's money here for you to go home and make for you and your family. So be here. I have the pleasure of bringing up a friend, a guy I admire. He's been in the industry for a long time, runs a phenomenal podcast called the Loan Officer Podcast. And Dustin's gonna walk you through, in the next 30 minutes, what the future of mortgage looks like. By the way, the future of mortgage, right here in this room. The people who are investing in themselves to go forward. Dustin's got a phenomenal new coaching platform. I talked to him in depth about it this week. I think it is going to be one of the best platforms out there for LOs and their a la carte and what they've got going on. And I'll pitch for Dustin probably more than he's gonna pitch for himself, because he's gonna talk about what you need to do to change your life going forward in the mortgage business. So please welcome my friend, Mr. Dustin Owen.
Woo! Good morning, Las Vegas. Wow, good morning, Mastermind Summit. How are we doing? Day 2? Yes. Who else lost a commission check on the craps table last night? Just me. Hopefully not just me. I'll get it back tonight, I promise. At least that's what I told my wife. Everyone feeling good? It's day 2. Day 2, you shouldn't be overly full of anxiety just yet. You should not be sleep deprived just yet. That's for tomorrow morning, right? It's funny, when I was given this opportunity in this time slot, I didn't know if it was a rite of passage to have to do the morning shift, or if it was an honor to get to do the morning shift. And I'm gonna take it as an honor. I'm gonna take it as an honor because I get to kick off and set the tone for today. And that's what we're gonna do. When I look out in this audience, you know what I see? I see the future of mortgage lending. I see there we go. I see the next gen originator. I see the modern mortgage loan originator. And that's what today's gonna be. Something I am not a motivational speaker. If you're trying to be motivated today, I'm not your dude. Now, if you wanna be motivated, I have a tip, a trick, a hack. Get out your phones. Go to your pictures. Pull up a picture of your family. You need motivation, there's your motivation. Now, maybe you don't like your family, and that's okay, I'm not gonna judge you. Pull up your retirement account, your savings account, your pay stub or your W-2. You need motivation? You got motivation right there. Now, what I would like to be for you is a change agent, right? I wanna inspire change, and not drastic change. I don't think change actually works that way. In fact, my experiences in life show me that's not it. One of my favorite books, James Clear wrote the book Atomic Habits, and it talks about 1% better per day. And I've been you in these conferences for the past 2 decades, and the one thing I've taken away is I can't leave this conference and implement every great idea, because change doesn't work that way. So as I set the tone for today, which the lineup is amazing, and I am honored to be able to set the tone, my request of you would be the same request I would have for one of my loan originators who's in the audience with you, which is take notes, listen, put 4, 5, 6 really good ideas down, and then pick one, maximum of 2, and those are the ideas that you're going to implement when you get back to the office on Monday. 2. And then slowly, in bite-sized, digestible chunks, implement and be amazed at where you are January 1st of next year. So today's presentation, I have roughly 27 minutes and 13 seconds to talk about what it means to be a next-gen originator. I have a QR code up here right now. There's a reason why that QR code is up here right now. It's because I understand that many of you we have not met before. Many of you are like, what in the hell is TLOP? By the way, TLOP is a brand. It stands for the Loan Officer Podcast. Funny story behind TLOP is when John Coleman and I started podcasting 4 years ago, 2 hours a week from my office, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. What we knew is we wanted to have fun. What we knew is that we wanted to create content that was essentially the shit they didn't teach us in school. By the way, that's everything that we do as loan originators. Whether we're teaching our colleagues, whether we're teaching our borrowers, whether we're teaching our realtors, most of what we mastered is what they didn't teach us in school. But as we podcasted that first year and then the second year, we must have been doing something right because we developed this following, and that following started referring to themselves as T-Loppers, right? So hence, T-Lop is the brand that brings you the Loan Officer Podcast. But T-Lop is more than that now. What started as a podcast is now a YouTube channel. Oh, by the way, I have a request. And it's a selfish request, by the way, but they gave me the mic, they gave me the stage, so I'm going to take advantage of it. We are 400 subscribers away from hitting 20,000 on YouTube. If you could, before the end of today, if you could go and subscribe to the TLOP YouTube channel, there's a good chance by the time we fly home tomorrow, we'll hit 20K. That would be an honor, and it'd be awesome to know that it happened here at Mastermind Summit. But this QR code is for people like me in the audience. I'm a high I on a DISC personality profile, right? That means I'm like squirrel, what, nut, shiny object, what? I'm all over the place. So for you high I's like me, I throw the QR code up here now so that you don't spend the next 10 or 20 minutes trying to figure out who I am. And then how do I find this dude? You can actually maybe listen and take some notes. So this QR code will let you find the podcast, go and listen to it. Spotify, Apple, wherever you go to listen to podcasts. I promise you, it doesn't suck. Promise you. If you don't know what a podcast is, it's a radio show, guys. That's all it is. YouTube, I already talked about. If you are a mortgage loan originator, yes, I have a newsletter that is free. I write it myself. In fact, the newsletter came out today because it comes out every Thursday. If you want a free newsletter, sign up for it. Again, I'm pretty proud of it. And then for those select few that are looking for sales training, looking for coaching, but you don't want to break the bank, but you do want to be surrounded by the future of the mortgage industry, and you want to be coached by next-gen originators, please check out what we're doing over at the TLOP MLO coaching community. My team is here. They're in the corner by the windows. You can talk to them about what it means to be a member. All right, so many of you are still like, all right, why is this guy here? And who is he? I did a good enough job, I think, of saying who I was, but why am I here? Honestly, because I have a kick-ass team, and about 6 months ago, I said, you know what, guys? Mastermind Summit's in like 6 months. I would love nothing more but for us to be a part of it. I said, there's this guy, his name is Matt Emery. Why don't you go find him, track him down, and see how we can be a part of it. True story, that's why I got here. How cool is that? And thank you, Nikki, who's sitting in the front row, because she made that happen. But I'm really here because I do find value in shaping the future of the mortgage industry. So today, this was my opportunity to be a part of that. Looking out of the crowd, raise your hand. Who here is less than 2 years in the business? Someone I'd call a rookie loan originator, right? A little bit lost, a little bit scared, a little bit like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Guess what? I was once you. The year was 2004. So when I speak today, please know I know where you are, and I've sat in your seat. I know what it's like to go $10,000 in credit card debt, to defer my student loans. I cut off my cable before there's a thing called Hulu and Netflix, right? Because I was trying to find a way to make it happen in this industry. Where are my top producers at? Top producers going to Cabo, Costa Rica, getting those awards trips, walking the stage, getting the awards. I once got to experience that as well. So I get you, 100%, like we connect. Where are those producing branch managers at? Where are you at? Whoo-wee. Y'all, hardest gig in this industry. I know it because I've managed 1 branch, 2 branches, and at one time up to 5 branches. And it is literally next to impossible to produce, lead, and manage effectively all at the same time, yet you all take on that task. And then finally, where are my divisionals? Where are my CEOs? Where are my sales executives? Yeah, hey, those people need a hug. Those people need to hear thank you. Those people need to hear, you got this. That's the seat that I sit in today. I'm very fortunate. I've been with Waterstone Mortgage the past 16 years, and that journey has allowed me to go from loan officer, top producer, producing regional, and now divisional sales executive. And having sat in all those seats and worn all those shoes, what I can tell you is right now those divisional leaders, they need a hug. So at some point today, go find your divisional leader or find any divisional leader, go ahead and give them a hug. But I share that with you because I want you to understand the context of where I speak isn't just some dude who went to ChatGPT and said, this sounds good. It's some dude who sat in your seat, who's worn your shoes, walked in your footsteps. And what I'm going to share with you is, again, all about setting the tone. Who else am I? Anyone who's interested? I'm an avid Braves fan. I'm a massive UCF, University of Central Florida, supporter. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, and I'm a triathlete. I'm actually training for my 3rd Ironman that I'll compete in Wilmington, North Carolina in October of this year. Woo, yeah, thank you. Any other fellow triathletes in the room? Yeah, there we go, nice. 4 slides that I need to cover before we get into the meat and the potatoes. And these 4 slides are the 4 slides that I'm going to ask you all to really let it sit with you, not just for the next 20 minutes, but for the next 2 days, because this is going to impact the change that hopefully is you're going to incur when you go home. I buy into this philosophy that nothing changes if nothing changes. Think of that for a second. Whether it's your diet, whether it's your finances, whether it's your business, whether it's your relationship with spouses or children, nothing will ever change if you don't make a change. Just keep in mind, change doesn't have to be drastic. So these next 4 slides, I think, are going to help us become better change agents within ourselves. So the first one is this, and I learned this years ago, probably being in a room like this, and it's the saying, if it's true, it's not new. If it's new, it's not true. I mean, just let that sink in for a little bit. I mean, you all are going to have the opportunity to listen to Shant close out today, right? The #1 loan originator in the country. I had the luxury of interviewing Shant for the podcast yesterday. I got to learn his story. I can promise you this, if you want to be the #1 loan originator in the country, you can. You can follow in his footsteps because everything that he does, it's not new, but everything that he does is true. But I also want to bring you up to speed on this, which is what I call the other 80-20 rule. Like, we all know the 80-20 rule, right? Pareto's principle, 80% of crime is committed by 20% of the populace, 80% of the income is earned by 20% of the earners. But the new, or the other 80-20 rule, is 80% of what we do in business needs to be the true. However, 20% must be the new. Right? There is something that you're not doing right now that you're going to need to do, which is the new. How about this one? And I'm going to want this one to really sink in. And help me out as a crowd here, as a group. There's a saying, we've all learned it, probably the first month we were in sales. People do business with? Yep, people do business with people. People. Not robots, not technology, not videos. People do business with people. And this is one of my favorites. History does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. So I'm going to tell you a little story about how the company that I've worked for the past 16 years was started. The founder was a young processing assistant turned loan officer. His mentor refused to get this thing called a fax machine. So that young mentee decided, you know what? If Julius isn't going to get a fax machine, I don't think I can continue to work here. So what'd he do? He found his best friend. They rented a space in a basement under a restaurant in Wisconsin, and they built out Waterstone Mortgage. What would have happened if that guy was like, hey, look, maybe fax machines are the future. I should get a fax machine. Now, we don't have to talk about fax machines today, right? In fact, we just got rid of our fax machine finally in my office in Winter Park, Florida. Finally. So they're not a thing, but what could we learn from that story? Talking to Shant yesterday and learning about his journey, he really built his business starting in 2008, 2009. Who in the room was around 6, 7, 8, 9? History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Ooh, something sounds a whole lot like now that sounded like in 08. It's not the same story, it's not the same song, but it sounds a lot alike. It definitely rhymes. So if a Shant can build his business coming off of a 07, 08, 09, what can all of us do coming off of a 22, a 23, and a 24? Right? I smell opportunity as long as we are willing to make a change. So let's just go ahead and get started. Let's rip the Band-Aid off and let's dive in. And I call this, let's get started with the big three. Sometimes I call it the elephant in the room. Pretty simply put, technology, online networking, and content creation. And I'm going to come back to the word online networking. And this is not a presentation about technology, about social media, about how to create content. Again, I'm trying to set the tone for the rest of the day. And at a minimum, if I can make you say, I've done my job. If I can change your point of view on one topic and turn that 3 degrees, 4 degrees, I've done my job. Here's what I know about technology. We need to be fast followers. I do not buy into the thought process that I need to be an innovator. No, I need to be a badass mortgage sales professional. I'll let other people innovate because what I've learned throughout 20 years, and I've witnessed multiple companies do this, innovators who aren't in the tech space waste man hours, they waste time, and they waste millions of dollars. I'd much rather be a fast follower. But being a fast follower also means I need to be an early adopter. The minute you see something working, figure it out. But it's the minute you see something working. But then know this about technology. We, the people, we decide. We decide. It doesn't matter what Silicon Valley makes. What matters is what does the consumer want to do with it. Who here watches their television in 3D? Nobody? Nobody. But that was all the rage 10 years ago. That's what the technologists wanted to do. But we as the consumer, we decided. We as the people, we decided. Who here uses the service MMI? Right, you want to look up production, right? There's another one out there, I think RETR. But it's funny, MMI, when you get to know that company was not about data, right? That company had a whole different software. But we, the people, we got to decide. So just keep in mind that regardless of what technology you're rolling out, your borrowers are going to decide, your realtors are going to decide, or you as loan originators, you'll ultimately decide how and when we use it. Be a fast follower, be an early adopter, but just keep in the back of your mind, the people decide. Online networking. Whew. All right. As Too Short would say, you got to get in where you fit in. I like that. Yeah. I mean, I could just go ahead and put this clicker down and spend the next 13 minutes doing Too Short rhymes if you'd like. No, that's for the karaoke bar later. But shout out to my friends Adium, who they know I'm a big Too Short fan, and they brought me a t-shirt all the way from California and gave it to me yesterday. Maybe I'll rock it tonight to the party. But no, when it comes to online networking, here's what I want to have you all understand. Some of you know it as social media. I hate social media. Hell, I hate the media. I've hated the media since 1997 when I was a senior in high school, and it started with the local news. I hate social media because I'm a parent to 2 teenagers, and I've seen what it's done to their generation. And by the way, what it's done or what I've allowed it to do as a parent. One of my favorite books, Extreme Ownership by Jocko, what I and other parents allowed it to do. But I love to network. My job as a sales professional is to network. And for me, the best way to network is online. It just is. Like, it is the #1 way. So y'all need to have to understand this about online networking, about social media. You're either in it to win it, or you're out of business. Like, that is how strong I feel about it. And if you're one of those people, maybe in the back, that's a little apprehensive about getting online, maybe you don't like social media, cool. But it doesn't mean you couldn't exploit it for your benefit. It doesn't mean that you couldn't lean into it. If you think about it as online networking, all you're doing is walking into a room like this, coming to a convention like this, and you're making eye contact. You're shaking hands. You're engaging in small talk. You're opening up a little bit about your personal life. Now, we would call that a friend request. We would call that a like or a heart or some winky face emoji. Maybe it's a comment on someone else's post. Hell, maybe you're sliding into their DMs. But ultimately, if you are not online and you're not networking online, I can't imagine that 3, 5, or 7 years from now you're relevant. I just can't. Content creation. This is a big one. Content creation is a big one for me. We have to learn it. You just do. You have to learn it. We don't have to be the next TikTok superstar. We're not trying to get 100K followers. No, but the borrower of the future, those Gen Zs, those millennials, people do business with people. We've already established that. They're going to want to see us because they're going to want to get to know us, like us, and trust us. But if we're not putting ourselves out there, and we're not utilizing video marketing, and we're not creating content, then we are falling behind. We are being left in the dust of those that are doing it. So learn it. Learn it for your 2,000 or 3,000 people in your circle of influence. You don't have to get wide. You don't need a YouTube channel that has 20,000 subscribers or 80,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. By the way, there are people in our space. There's a lady down in South Florida who works for Guaranteed Rate, funding something stupid like $100 million a year, and all her business comes from her YouTube channel. You know, you meet Jordan Nutter over at NFM, all of her business is coming off of TikTok. Now, those may be outliers, right? And I know a thing or two about outliers. It's a great book written by Malcolm Gladwell, by the way. And maybe we want to stay in the lane of success, because this is what I know about success. Success leaves footprints, and there's patterns to success. So I might not need to be the next YouTube sensation or TikTok superstar, but I do have 2,000 or 3,000 people, and those 2,000 or 3,000 people need to see me. They need to hear from me. I need them to like me, know me, and trust me, and I'm going to do so through my content creation. So learn it, do it, because by the way, how do we actually get good at something? I can read all I want to read about swimming, about biking, about running, but until I do it, I'll never get good. Even race day. Anyone who's in here who competes, you only get better on race day by having multiple races, because there's just a different feel about race day. So learn it, do it. Again, you're doing it for 2,000 or 3,000 people, and you're not doing it for yourself. Total rabbit hole here, sidebar. That is how you sound, that is how you look, and we love you for it. And if you don't like how you look and you don't like how you sound, don't watch it, because it's not for you. You're not buying from you. They're buying from you. And don't overcomplicate something that's pretty simple. And for my regionals, for my divisionals, support it. I mean, support it. Nothing changes if nothing changes. This is something that you're going to have to change your mindset on and figure out ways to support it. So let's jump into this. What does it mean to be a modern originator? The modern lender will sell themselves and their technology. So it's going to be me, Dustin, the human, and my robots. When I go out and sell, I will be selling my technology, but it's me first. Because it's me that's going to be able to connect emotionally with someone. It's me that's going to be able to pick up on their anxieties. Yes, I'll leverage technology, and technology may allow me to do more loans quicker. And by the way, I may have to do more loans quicker in order to compete in the future of mortgage lending. What else does it mean to be a modern originator? The modern lender is an advisor. Where you at, Dave Savage? That one's for you. Back in the day, top producers were advisors. I don't think that works going forward. I think you're an advisor, or I think you're out of the industry, right? And advisors utilize the right technology. They take a consultative approach to lending, and they recognize there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all mortgage. The modern lender gives home buying consultations. Y'all, quit doing pre-quals. Quit doing pre-approvals. Nobody wants a mortgage. Think about it. We dream about not having a mortgage, but people want to own homes. So when you're out there creating content, when you're out there working your circle of influence, tell people that you help others purchase real estate. You help home buyers buy homes. You give home buying consultations. The modern lender establishes themselves as the community expert. The NAR Commission lawsuit, in my opinion, has gifted us something that we have not seen in this industry in my 20 years. It is our opportunity to, A, be a true, strong partner in the real estate community, but also a way for us to get to the consumer first. Because we didn't have to get to the consumer first 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago. I think the next 5, 10 years, we're going to have to. But this NAR Commission settlement is going to give us that opportunity. Social media gives us that opportunity. Creating video content easily from our phones inside of our offices gives us that opportunity. And by the way, it's your local community. Your local community, right? Those 5 or 6 zip codes that you serve, those 100 friends and family, those 500 past clients, the modern lender establishes themselves as the local community expert. And then the modern lender understands the next-gen home buyer. The next-gen home buyer, they're still going to ask mom and dad for a recommendation. They're still going to listen to their builder or their realtor, but not with the same confidence that we all did when we were buying homes. So when you're understanding the next-gen home buyer, I think you have to understand that they're going to be referred to you, and then what are they going to do? Well, hell, what do we do? What's the first thing that we do when a borrower calls in? What's the first thing we do when someone applies for a job with our company? We look them up online. We Google them. Well, what do you think Gen Z and the millennials are going to do with us? They're going to look us up online. When they look you up online, what are they going to find? What are they going to see? What are you going to show them? How are they going to get to like you, know you, and trust you if you're not putting out content for them to actually listen to what their realtor is telling them? I have 4 minutes left. So in 4 minutes, I won't even need. But I want to encourage those that are looking to make a change, those that want to be a part of a community, those that recognize that they are the future of mortgage lending. If you're looking to come hang out and learn from others just like you, come see us in the back. I really dig what we're doing. Look, I never thought I was going to be a part of a coaching company or a sales training group. That was never my intention. I'm a mortgage dude. I love the mortgage industry. When I say I love, anyone who tunes into the show, you know how much I love this industry. But by podcasting, there's a lot of people out there that kept reaching out to me, and they're like, oh, D.O., which, by the way, first name Dustin, last name Owen. Connect me on LinkedIn, but my friends call me by my initials, D.O. Like, D.O., I learned way more from you than I do my branch manager. And I was like, damn, that's sad. But wow, does my heart smile. So although I never set out to have this community, there was a need for it. There was a void where we could come together And for literally less than 1/2 of most of y'all's commission checks, you can be a part of this community for the entire year. These are live sales training calls. This is an e-learning platform. And look, I'm fortunate. I get to help run Waterstone Mortgage, a company that I love, a company that I help build. Right? That's my full-time gig, but I have this passion to be a part of the future of mortgage lending, and that's something that we're doing. So just like anyone else who comes on stage, we have a booth, we're giving discounts, lock in your price today, all of that garbage. Right? Sales garbage. I hate selling from the stage, but if I didn't, oh, she just walked out. Nikki's all of 5'3" and 110 pounds, and I'm deathly afraid of her. So if I didn't just do that, I'd have to deal with her for the next 2 days, and I didn't want to. But I want to leave you with this. I want to leave you with this right here. Nothing changes if nothing changes. When you go home tomorrow, or you go home on Saturday, I hope you have 3, 4, 5 pages full of notes, but I hope you pick 2 ideas. And for those next 6, 7 months, those 2 ideas are what you're focused on executing. Getting 1% better per day so that you can be a part of the future of mortgage lending. Thank you.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey.